Hey, that's how you get down already up there? Hey, 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 hey. Hey, what's going on, world? It's me again, Ethan Smith, aka Mr. P.I.E.N. Another soulful session of expression sessions. Another Saturday soulful session of expression sessions with my beautiful co-host, my life, my wife, the lovely Kiki. Kiki, say what's up to the people.
What's up to the people?
How you been, love?
Good.
How was your week? What's been going on in your week? We gotta adjust. We have to adjust when we see what happens later. What's been going on in your week before we get into what we talking about? What's this? It's almost
The
like
week went by so fast. We're preparing the kids for school next week. A lot of Zoom meetings and camps and laptop pickups and just preparing for school starting next week.
I gotta check this light.
Preparing for a sweet young lady's birthday on
Hey,
Monday.
talk about it then. What we talking about?
Sweet little Zari.
Hey,
Birthday is
nah.
on Monday.
Okay, shout out to Zaria turning 11. Zaria, our daughter, turning 11 on Monday.
Baby girl turning 11.
We had a lot going on Monday, y'all. We might be on the I-10 by 10 vlogging with the P.I.E.Ns. I'm just saying, man, we got to take a trip. We almost back to normal. I thought about that today. So we going to have a good time today, and I'll tell you in a minute what we talking about. You've seen the question. Is opposites really attract, or is it better to date someone with the same characteristics? Now, this might be my guest that's texting. I don't know what's going on, but I got to... Anyhow, so yeah. We are going to talk about opposites attracting and things like that. But we had a lot going on over the last few weeks or so, like you just said, with school and everything else. And now we got to get ready to possibly take a road trip, because things are shifting in life. You know what I'm saying? Things are shifting in life, and that's not always attractive. It's not always. That's not always attractive at all. But anyhow, you know, can you finish what you were talking about for your week, though?
Oh, I was pretty much done with that. But,
Okay.
yeah, the trip we're about to take is going to shift some things in our life.
Absolutely. Hey, Trey.
And
Yeah, that part.
yeah.
So, let's read the scripture real quick. That part. This is that one of those times where you have things planned out and you have things set up. I was talking about getting back to our regularly scheduled program to a certain degree. Last week you had a surprise guest. You and Corona Cashmere was talking about the kids going back to school.
Right.
The week before that was our 1 year anniversary, what we did it at Tom Mann's house, where it was Mr. P.I.E.N. on the microphone, just doing what he does, inspiring the world one person at a time. Now it's back to me and you, us baby, sitting in the conference room. Kitchen / dining room, family room, living room. You know how I go together. Bars, don't worry about it. It's all together. But we right here, looking in the camera, talking to you. But it's almost like we not back to normal, but back to what we was doing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't rocky. It was fun. That's who I am. You know, I was experiencing different things. We are totally opposite anyway. But now we're kind of back to what our comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? And it goes to my question: does opposite attract, or is it better to be with someone who's operating in your characteristics, or who operates in your same values? I mean, because if you look at us, we are definitely opposites when we met. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't know if people know that about us, but we are definitely opposites. Ethan's more of an extrovert, and I am definitely an introvert. But over our years, we have learned to work together. So I think we both, I don't know, you can say what you think, but a lot of times it seems like opposites attract. But we've met a couple who are really the same. They have the same. They're both extroverts, and they have a lot of the same characteristics, and it was pretty interesting to see that dynamic can work as well. So opposites don't always attract, so that is definitely a myth. I think there are strengths to both being with your same characteristic, being with a person who's like two introverts and two extroverts can definitely be together. I think there are strengths and weaknesses to both. And again, Ethan and I are opposites, so the opposite can definitely work. It just depends on how much work and how much time you want to put in. There's a lot of communication that has to happen. There is definitely compromise that has to happen because, you're dealing with two different people. And especially in the case with Ethan and I, the way that charges him is with people. And I'm charged when I'm by myself. I don't need a lot of people around. So it's just learning your partner and respecting the fact that, we charge up differently. And that's okay. And then also getting our time together. So it definitely can work either way. You just have to be willing to put in that work to learn your partner, to learn yourself, and to keep an open mind, to put people where they are strongest at. And Ethan and I case, we both have different strengths, so we unite. And I don't want to say
activate.
Yeah, I don't want to say make a whole, because we're both whole people, but in a sense it makes our relationship whole, because where he's strong at, I'm okay with letting him operate there, and vice versa. So I think it definitely can work if you love the person you're with and you're okay with allowing them to operate in their strengths for the good of the relationship. It doesn't have to be, one-sided. There is no control, but it's compromise. So Leger says, I think it's all about compatibility. Everyone is different, but some people work better together than others. That's so true.
Absolutely correct.
That's so true.
So before we go to, we in there like we usually do. We just got right in that thing. So we talking about opposite attracting, and we supposed to have someone come on to guest and who wants to talk about a particular relationship where two people who are similar, who I thought was completely opposite, y'all, based on the superpower characteristics traits and the questionnaire I had them go over from some of my life coaching tools and things. It was very interesting to see how two people so similar look so different. As my wife was saying, we opposites and we attracted. If you go all the way back to high school, bad boy, good girl. Really bad girl, good boy. Everybody keeps saying this. Y'all should have been worried about me, not her. Think about it. She took a chance on somebody everybody else ran away from. I'm not the one, y'all. Should have been worried about me, okay? Anyhow, opposites attract, right? So opposites attract, but these are two people that are so similar. And relationships happen in a weird way. You know what I'm saying? They say, I don't want to be with nobody just like me. I don't want to be nobody that's different than me. But you have no idea who you're getting into a relationship with until you really start to build the relationship by communicating, talking, getting to know one another, and really sharing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because up until that point, you don't know you opposite, because in the beginning, it's all puppy love. I like what you like. You could do that for 5 years. Good. Like, especially in high school. You ain't even got to see you full time. You're my 8-hour girlfriend. Especially for real. Right. So you don't know if it's an opposite or not. Man, I had to watch that twice, bro.
I don't know what this is.
Oh, that's something totally different. Tune into the live show, man. Stop it now, okay? So, in all seriousness, you don't really know how much you're like someone until you start to live with that person, until you're around that person. It's like building a relationship with anything. People at work, the stronger your relationship is with them because you spend more time with them. And you tend to gravitate to people that you feel more comfortable with. If it's people that smoke, you go with smokers. If it's people that drink, you go with drinkers. If it's people that go to church, you go with people that go to church. You know what I'm saying? So you go to the people that you are attracted to, and the ones that seem opposite, the bad boy, you may not go to now that you out of high school. But in high school, you really don't know. You have everybody else's speculation. And then sometimes you leave high school and you get into life work, college, school, and you still really don't know whether you're attracted to the opposite or someone like you, because you might not even know you.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I dropped that one like it was good. Wasn't that good, y'all? Did y'all?
It was good.
Okay, cool. Well, go ahead. Self-aware.
You have to be self-aware in order to know if you're opposite from someone else.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Come on with it, then.
I used to think, y'all. I learned this yesterday at Toastmasters. It's very important to look into the camera. Like, it make me feel so weird because I feel like I gotta see me. But if you look into the camera, they know you connecting with them. Anyhow. Self-aware.
Well, my eyes are small, but I'm still
But
looking.
the camera is right there. Anyhow. Self-aware. We were
yeah.
talking about being self-aware. I like to believe that I was pretty self-aware, and me and you are pretty opposite. But you just said I was arrogant. Remember that conversation we was having earlier?
Yes.
So what is the difference between my self-awareness?
You was too self-aware. I don't think you were self-aware. I think you were guarded. You were so guarded, and your fence was so high that you was like, nobody can tell me I'm doing E, and this is right because I said so. That's not self-awareness. That's, you got to wall up.
I'm pretty aware that nobody needed to be in the backyard.
Yeah, but I couldn't even get in the yard.
Well, I mean, I opened the gate. It was cracked.
You let my toes in, and you was like, that's far enough. Thank you.
That's far enough, because you was complete opposite. So when you was telling me you was loving me like that, I couldn't believe that. I'm gonna tell you why I couldn't believe that. Because I didn't believe in me like that. How could you love me when I ain't love me like that? I was used to being with the misfits, the degenerates, the riffraffs, the people that, you know, the outcasts. We wasn't the thugs and all that stuff, but we wasn't what the people consider popular. We fit, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Especially for the parents. Oh, don't be around him. Don't have your kids around him. So it was just like, to kick it with you, to meet you, you was totally different from that 4.0 student. Nobody in school knew about you. You wasn't in the streets like that. So when you start telling me you down with me, you rock with me, I'm like, no, everybody that I know that's dirty who said that didn't done me dirty. So I know good people ain't. I done seen it in church. I done seen it all over. I'm just saying, but it attracted me to you though at the same time, because you was totally different than everything I knew.
Right. And it's funny, when we've been hurt, we say we want a good person, but to be honest, y'all, we have to undo the hurt in order to accept the good person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but you like, I've dealt with all these bad people, and now I'm ready for someone good. I'm working on myself to be a better person. And I get this good person, and it feels so foreign. So you have to undo all of the bad stuff in order to accept the good. We often think that I'm going to get this good person and it's going to feel great and everything but it's not like that for real, y'all. Y'all get the good.
Because you, what's the name?
You get the good person, and it takes time for you to unpack the hurt and the pain from all the bad stuff. And it's really a conscious effort. You really do have to be self-aware, and also you have to be aware of your partner, because you don't want them to pay for stuff that happened in your past. You know what I'm saying? You don't want this new person, this good person, to pay for all the things or the mistakes of someone who really did deeply hurt you in the past. So
couldn't agree. Bersenio says, couldn't agree more. Can't bring the baggage from the past relationships to new relationships.
Absolutely. Then you just keep on getting what you had before, because
you're being a negative Nate.
You're not allowing yourself to accept this good person or this new person, because you're so busy judging them and everything they do based on the past. Now, there will be some similarities, but that doesn't mean that this new person is going to go all the way left like the last people. They should be given an opportunity to make their own mistakes. And if you aren't able to do that, then you still need time to heal. It's just like us. I want to say that we got back together and everything was just perfect. But I have to be honest and say,
get in there, I'm in trouble.
There were just those moments where you still have to rebuild trust, and you still have to say to yourself, I refuse to build the same house with this person that we had before. If I say I want something new, and if he says he wants something new, we have to treat it as such. And communication is really key when we're feeling those old feelings. Talk about it. This is how I felt when you did this before. Give that person an opportunity to say, well, I wasn't thinking that, or I didn't know that this is how you felt. But you can't go into it and every little thing they do, now you like, oh my God, see, here we go. This is what we had before, and I ain't going for this. And then you like, he like, what is you saying? Or she like, what are you saying? I wasn't even thinking that at all. So communication is really key. When we talk about we want something new, it's a job, y'all. It's not like pixie dust. Hey, I'm ready. Let's go. It's gonna work. No, you have to undo and you have to unpack all
it's
that damage.
Like when people, what's the name of it?
Before.
It's like something you said before. It's you a hidden treasure. You got to be willing to be found, but you got to go through some stuff, and it's gonna be obstacles.
Yes,
it is definitely not pixie dust, because every day is still a process for us, and we're learning. Okay, we are opposite. We have a lot of similarities. Our birthdays are 8 days apart. We both Pisces. We don't get off into the zodiac. Two fish, but those two fish, although they are fishing the same, they swimming in opposite directions.
Absolutely.
Opposite directions. They complete one another. They know one another. You fish, I'm fish. You know, we complete one another. Sutton. Sutton. Whiskey Charlie, Whiskey Sutton.
Stay focused.
Sutton,
although swimming in different directions.
Swimming in different directions, we are, Sutton. I know we are. I know we swimming in different directions. Muzzle awareness, Sutton. Shots fired. How you doing, Sutton? All right, anyhow. Fish. Swimming, I just like to mess with Sutton. You see, laugh out loud. Thank you, Sutton. I appreciate that. It's always good to know that I can count on you to show up for my wife. Appreciate that. And everybody else, man. Fish swimming in two different directions, and today we are talking about opposites attract. Again, let me get this in here. I know we've been in for a minute. We thank y'all again for joining in, tuning in, man. If this thing moves you, move somebody else. Watch part of this video, share this video. We've had questions about what next, what's going on, and y'all taking it as a business. We have a lot of things upcoming family-wise, personally, so just stay tuned with us. Keep us uplifted. We gonna keep going. We gonna keep being crazy, but we really thank y'all for rocking with us. We really, really do. So we gonna have fun with this thing, and we gonna keep going. I want to pray real quick before we go too much further in this. Dear Heavenly Father, I just like to thank and praise you on this day for leading us, guiding us, giving the words to say, and allowing us to be transparent and free and freely give to thee, to the people that's listening to us, not for us to be so big of ourselves, but to let you use us to bless someone else. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Cool. Oh, so let's get back to fun. Fish swimming in two different directions. What it do?
What it do?
Oh, excuse me. Look, y'all done turned it loose. Y'all was worried about the good girl hurt. I told y'all. Listen to me. For all my fellas out there who've been through it, and the mama warned you about coming on the porch for a daughter. They shouldn't have been worried about their daughter. We need to be worried about our sons when we turn them loose to these ladies out here who's ready to take them on, okay? The Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing and earns favor. In order to earn favor, you got to put some work in. So that means she working you over like Mayweather, okay? So y'all got to pray for us. But I wouldn't be where I'm at without her. So I'm thankful and I'm grateful for that challenge. Again, fish in opposite directions, opposites attract. But we also complete one another in the same way. And what people fail to realize, when they don't understand, I think a lot of times, we're so busy attempting to get our mate to switch to what we want. And they're not allowed to really flow in what they want, or what works best for them. And it's a problem. Case in point. I'm an ambivert. More so, I'm an extrovert. I want to be around people to get my energy going. Anybody that know me knows that. Anybody that see you with me and how I get down, they would think, how is she with him? Because your wife is quiet. She don't talk. But you're an introvert. Not that you're shy and you don't like people. It's just that you don't need people to re-energize.
Right.
That's it. Introverts don't need people to energize, where extroverts do.
Right.
That's the only difference. And I tell people, you put on music, you'll see a different side of my wife come out. Toe tapping Charlie is going busting loose. Okay,
happy feet. Happy feet. What can I say?
So it's just busting loose, and I'm realizing that your introvert and my extrovert makes us the dynamic duo. When he say, you know, the two shall become one, you want sometimes someone to be somewhat opposite of you, not all the same. Your twin ain't even the same. You want them to be somewhat opposite of you because it's completion. I believe. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I was a guy that said I never wanted to date anybody that was like me, especially back in the day, because I was a mess. I'm still a mess.
I mean, y'all pray for me, okay?
Shit, I don't have any energy. You got all the energy in the world, Sutton. She excited to see. Excited to see my favorite couple. We appreciate that, man. What it do, Wolf, what it do. So anyways, back again to these opposites and how they attract. And here's the thing, but knowing who you are is so very important. I want to get into this DISC assessment I've been doing, and it ties into the whole thing in relationships.
Two halves of a whole.
Absolutely. Two whole loaves that make one full loaf.
Okay.
Because when I say halves, it's like you said earlier. If I say half 50-50, then that means, no, we both bringing 100. I'm a whole when I came to you.
Yes.
If I'm bringing you half of me, then it's a half I got to fix. So it's no disrespect to that. For me, it's just about verbiage. If I'm only bringing half and I'm waiting on you to complete my half, when you don't do something that I expected you to do, you messed up my half because your half incomplete. But if I come as a whole, because I know me and what I am, and you come as a whole, you compliment me, not I expect you to uplift me.
Absolutely.
Don't take that from me. All right, go.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I always thought it was 50-50 until I learned that when you come to a relationship, you should already be whole. You shouldn't be looking for that person to make you whole. You should be a whole person.
I'm gonna let her sit next to you. Can you slide over some? Or you
and a lot of times we say 50-50 because we want the two people to give to the relationship. We don't want it to be one-sided. But in all actuality, if that person comes whole and you come whole, it's less of a struggle in the relationship, and it's easier to compromise. So I get it when people say half or 50-50, meaning that you want that other person to at least match your effort in a relationship. You don't want it to be just one-sided. But in all actuality, you should be whole before you even come to a relationship. Right. Otherwise, you put strain on the relationship to fulfill things that person isn't able to fulfill. There are just certain things that we require sometimes of our spouses, of our mates, and they aren't capable of fulfilling it. It's something we have to give ourselves first, and then we're able to give something to someone else. So I get the whole two halves thing, because again, you do want to be in a relationship where the other person is matching your effort. You don't want to feel like, oh, I'm giving everything and they're not giving anything. But at the same time, if you come whole, you won't have that problem, because if this person is whole and they say they want this, then they're automatically going to give to the relationship because they want this and they didn't come to get anything specifically. So I think that's the difference in it.
Hey,
you gonna sit way up here?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit way up here. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I need to sit right here, but I need to, because I don't think it'll work if I sit anywhere else.
Okay.
But I gotta move it back because I can't. Yeah, because this will be better. You pull your chair in for me. That'll work. All right, babe. I don't see you in your own phone.
No, babe, I don't know.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Anyway, okay, cool. I'm back, y'all. Here we go. We were talking about earlier someone coming on as we talked about relationships, and we talked about opposites attract, and we talked about dating someone who had the same or similar characteristics as you, and how we felt about that. So for y'all who don't know, as she is setting up her own IG and stuff like that, this is a friend of the family. Her name is Crystal. Me and her husband Mike are very good friends. She is very good friends with me. Mr. P.I.E.N being who I am, the high energy. I'm really just introducing her and my wife like again for the third time. So they ain't really had time to meet, so it's gonna be epic, okay? So anyhow, we were having a conversation just about relationships and connections, and we were doing some we went over a few questionnaires, and we were looking at the way her and her husband got along and some things that helped their relationship and how things happen at certain times. So I was coming down to Crystal and them house today to just talk and see how things were going after we had dinner. And we just started having a conversation. So I will let Crystal introduce herself, talk for a second.
Can I just comment real
sure.
quick? Because they're commenting on what I said.
Yeah.
So real quick, Leger said completeness must come from the person, and then attraction is created in the other. Complement each other rather than try to complete each other. I agree, Leger. And then Matthew says exactly right. You need to be a whole, because relationships aren't 50-50. Hey, your partner can't always have your back if they are still trying to fix themselves, at least in my experience.
Ain't that the truth?
You want to speak on that? We can speak on that and bring yourself in and say what you need to say if y'all want to comment on, you know.
I think that is a great comment. Unfortunately, it may take several years for each person, or at least one person, to realize that. So I think very well said.
Yeah. When you think about that, and we talked about opposites attract, and we were just talking about timing and relationships and the things that happen. And most people used to say, I didn't want to be anybody like me, or I don't want to date anybody different than me, because how it would be weird. And you just can't really control timing sometimes in the relationship that you find yourself in. And not just with your mate or your spouse, maybe even with your friends or the people that you can move my phone because it's not doing anything.
It's not on.
Yeah, it's not on. Maybe even with your friends per se. For example, you have a co-worker who you may not seem to work with at work because some things you heard, and then you get to know them. You're like, oh, you're really not that bad. You have a neighbor in an apartment complex, for example. I was talking to your husband, and you was telling me I would see you walking all the time, but I never would say anything. I would just be thinking, who is this dude with this ruck, and why is he carrying this
Where's
big
he
going?
Yeah.
Why is he carrying his bag? I knew your husband. I knew who you were. I had never said anything to you, and I thought, okay, I seen her. She must be totally different than her husband. She don't say anything. And I'm just talking about opposites. I'm super loud and I talk like I think your husband does. You know what I'm saying? And I thought you were very quiet and reserved and things like that. But once I got to talking to you more, you like to, interact with people as well. And I said relationships and the way you meet people. We came together and we've talked about things from a married standpoint, because they're married, we're married, kid standpoint, and we talked about relationships and when you come together with somebody and you knock on the door at a certain time, how things are built. You know what I'm saying? And it's like God sent people into your life at the right time for the right reason who are nothing like you. I'm walking with this big old pack. You had no idea why. I thought, oh, that's Mike's wife. I know who she is. Maybe she's just quiet like my wife so she don't speak to me. I had already thought I knew who you were. I didn't really find out to who you were until I met your husband again.
If I had $1 for every time I heard that.
Absolutely. His assessment, your assessment, and it's like, wow, and then to be able to observe that. So I know that was a lot. Yeah.
I totally agree with you. But like we were saying earlier, God works in mysterious ways. He puts people in your life at the right time. He puts things in place. Everything's in place the way it's where you are right now is where you're supposed to be.
I believe
whether you want to be there or not,
every moment in your life, I believe, is the most important moment of your life. And I think we lose track of that. And especially, again, when you're talking about people, love, for example, if you would have judged me based on what people said about me, based on us being opposite, based on us not being the same and compared for what everybody else thought, we wouldn't be here to even have this conversation. 25 years later, to be in the position that I was able to, talk and relate to just neighborly. You know what I'm saying? About things in life for you, all because you know you felt different than somebody or something didn't look right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If I had a went based on your reputation, I may have chose something different.
Or sometimes you, yeah.
He didn't have he didn't have a good reputation, y'all. And again, we're opposites. So I was a 4.0 in my books, minding my business type, and he was like, "Look at me, I'm dancing in the hallways, I'm skipping school," and they like, "You might want to avoid him." And I don't even know. You know, you get to know a person and you form your own opinion about them. It's a powerful thing. Sometimes people can warn you against someone and it's true. It's actually true. And then there are times where you get to know someone and it's not your truth about that person. So you really have to use your judgment, your intuition about a person and not really judge them based on the opinions of others.
That is very true. You do not have to judge them on the opinions of others because you just might miss out on a good thing. I mean, i.e. me, Ethan Smith, a.k.a. Mr. P, another daily dose positive. Nah. But seriously, you have to feel that way about yourself. We talked about self-awareness earlier. My wife talked about, maybe a little bit too arrogant, but let's just be real. Opposites attract. When animal species, peacocks, you don't even got to go that far. The female is not judging the male based off him being weak. She attracted to the stronger, more aggressive. The male in the human mind, he attracted to the stronger, more aggressive female in a certain way of going after what she wants. Those two are attract. I don't think it's that good girls like bad boys. I think it's the fact that they different. And a lot of people think good girls are just one way. No, they just different and you don't know who they are, understand them, so you never get to know them and you put them in a box. So they may not even be your opposite. They may be the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They may be the same. We have a lot in common, although we have a lot of things that's different. Is that?
Absolutely. I mean, you got to have things in common. You got to have things in common when you're sharing, your life with somebody. Mm-hmm. It's like you can't go to church, you can't be going to church and then your spouse is out like hitting the crack pipe, It's not going to work. Like you have to share the same values. I think a lot of times you should have something.
It felt like it. We didn't share that value. I mean, I was drinking when we was in high school and that wasn't a value she shared, but at the same time, she allowed me to explore myself. Hey, brother, what's going on? Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
who's that, baby?
I'm live.
Say hi.
Yeah. So anyhow, when you think about opposites and how they attract and how we push through and we didn't allow what people say to stop us, you know what I'm saying? Have you thought about any of that in your own experience as far as, say, you and your husband? I mean, just think about it like this from this perspective. Most of y'all, from you and your husband's relationship, how have you thought about that in opposites in any way?
It took me a while to realize. Well, not
Space killing him, man. You're killing him.
My bad, guys.
No, you're right. Sit down.
Let me set him up.
It's okay. It's real life.
Hey, it's real life.
Hashtag parent.
Dad time.
Our kids pop in from time to time. This real life.
That's why you gotta let them go. You gotta let them be part of the show.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's
bring them back in. Unfortunately, that's not the same with certain female spiders. They're ruthless. They kill if you don't perform. Oh my God.
Oh wow.
I mean, Lejay, it's been a time or two. My wife has killed me in conversation the next day for my. Don't even worry.
You know what?
Hashtag just be you, okay? No, that's what expression sessions is for you to express yourself. Because here's the thing. The complete opposite of what your parents was taught and what your parents was learned. Oh, everything is taboo. You don't do this. You don't be affectionate with your significant other in front of people because that's just wrong. And then your affectionate others with Sally Sue and Jimmy John because they want to be they opposite of what you used to in your comfort. But you listen to everybody that didn't step outside the box. What they gonna say? See, this 2020. Little Mikey crying over there and running in the camera for his mama. That's real.
Yeah.
The opposite of that is attempting to hide it. That's social media. That's not reality TV. I'm not afraid about what nobody thinks. See, I'm completely opposite. I love the fact that the kid came in. because it's real life.
Yes.
It's real life, and a lot of times things happen in your relationship, things happen in your finances, things happen in your health. That's real life, and then you surround yourself with the same negative people when you need to get with people that's opposite of you. You need to get with gym rats. You need to get with people that's crazy about working out because you want to change your life. And God simply sends you someone. He sends me my wife who wants to balance the bank account down to a penny.
To the penny, y'all.
To the penny. He sends my wife somebody like me who want to just spontaneously spend it free, and everybody's a friend and everybody's happy. We stretch each other. We grow each other in a different way. And now we're able to here to do this and be able to bless somebody else. So now that you back and you good, just expression sessions. Nothing just, then you free to JBY and just be you. What was it like for you? Your husband is Caucasian, you black. Talk about opposites right then and there. Like, what did that feel like for you? Or just talk about the feeling that you had with, you know, back to when you seen me to where we at now. The dude walking with the ruck to the dude sitting in your living room, and we talking about God and your love for God and how he bring people into your life at a certain time in your life.
I think,
hey, bring them back.
I think, like I said, Mike and I, we met on the ship in Japan.
Hey, we got some more vets. Shout out to my vets out there. Female vets. Female lady supporting vets. Okay.
Go Navy. Beat Army. Just kidding. We love you.
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it. It's all love.
Yeah, you part of the military. Some part of it.
That's
but
right, brothers and
I mean,
sisters.
it's more water than
But you know I gotta give you a hard time.
Yeah, I know. If it ain't, you know.
But I mean, as soon as I saw it, like, okay, so I was MA2. Mike was.
You gotta tell what is that?
MA2 is Master at Arms, which is a cop in the Navy.
Oh, you was 5-0. She was an MP, y'all. I got the fuzz on here. Black lives matter and blue lives matter.
Chill out. So anyways, I remember, like, I was walking back to the office, and Sunction knows about this. I was walking back to the office, and there's a water fountain right there, and he crossed. I'd never ever seen him before. There's 3,000 people on the ship. It's like a small city. So I mean, it's not uncommon for you to like come across somebody you haven't seen, because everybody has their own movements. But I saw him go get a drink of water, and I stopped everything I was doing when I saw him, and I was just like, "Who is that? Who is that?"
Hey.
Wearing a fresh white tee, doing his security thing, and I just stopped. I stopped in my tracks, and I watched him drink water. And he may or may not have seen me. He might have been playing it cool. Definitely walked back across the hallway and into another section, and I was just like, okay, very good. But I didn't pursue anything. But he pursued me. I remember the day, like, I knew that he liked me. I was walking up the pier, and he was behind me, but I didn't know he was behind me because, I mean, he was cute, right? But I was like, I mean, it is what it is, you know? He came up. He came up from behind me. He came up from... I didn't have a habit of chasing people, you know? I didn't have a habit of chasing
My wife was running, and she was running fast.
I did
run so fast, she attempted to get her boyfriend to drive me home to get rid of me.
Let me just show him the lesson.
No way.
So he walked up, like, on the side of me, and he was like, oh, I knew it was you. I could smell you, like, 'cause my perfume. Mm-hmm. And I was like, ooh, he likes me. Ooh, Eddie's cute. Anyway, total opposite of me. Ginger, buff guy, like somebody so perfect. I never pictured myself with him at all. Or that I was even like half the type of girl that he was into. Little did I know. So,
sound like my wife.
That being said, like I said, God works in mysterious ways, because if it wasn't for Mike's passion and conviction and motivation to have me, I probably would have just kept moving forward, you know? But he stood in front of me like, nah, this is it. I'm all you need, you know? I think a lot of times we think we're in control of, you know, of everything going on in your life. And I think the further you get away from God, you just that's what you believe. You just believe that you're in control. Like, no, I'm going here tonight. I'm doing this tomorrow. you know, I'm gonna, you know, whatever it is, and your job and the people that you interact with every day. But God puts people in front of you. Like, no, stop what you're doing. Stop everything you're doing. This is focus on this, you know. And that's how I feel like what he did with Mike and I. And here we are, 8 years and 2 children later, happily married. And
y'all just babies in it.
But you know what? It's like we're
Similac.
It's like we. All right, Similac. That's a little
I
much. I feel
13 years of marriage. I ain't knocking y'all. I'm just saying because it makes, to me, it brings things in more perspective. I remember what it was like at 8 years. We was just talking about 18 years.
And you're just figuring everything out.
Yeah.
Like you're just like
yeah.
We went through so much. We went through thick and thin. But it's like we're really just now figuring out like how to move together. You know what I mean? How to move as a unit. How to communicate more than anything. Just now learning how to communicate. Hit me up for assessment because it says a lot. Mike and I have a lot of the same interests.
No, you good. Let him think.
But
you the only one tripping.
Mike is over there crying.
I don't want him to mess up your house.
You go clean it up.
We have a lot of the same interests.
Just don't let him beat any chords.
We're very similar, and that's a reason. That's the reason we fight as much as we do.
Yes, y'all are.
It's because
y'all
we're so similar
emotional.
that we're so emotional.
Babe.
Oh,
thank you for your singing selections.
Who sings that song?
Carl
Thomas. Let him sing it.
Carl Thomas, aka Ethan Smith, aka Mr. P.I.E.N.
All right, you got a lot of AKAs. Who are you really?
I'm not one dimensional. All right, go.
Clearly. Oh, God bless you.
He has. That's why we're here.
For real. But, you know, I just think, I lost my train of thought, Ethan. You know, I have ADHD.
See, I knew. I wanted you to stay on track.
Tell me what I'm saying.
We're talking about, we're talking about
because you're
both
different.
emotional.
Yeah, because you're so
Yeah.
similar,
Different, but
sometimes
similar.
it's...
So that's why we butt heads a lot. And, I mean, it didn't take too long to figure that out, but it's something that we really have to, like, harbor when we're trying to communicate effectively with each other, because I know how I am, I know how he is, but somebody's got to like take the wheel, and somebody's got to like, you know, be the leader, and we kind of just got to tag team it. It's bad. It gets really bad when both of us have highs together, what they call manias, and it's really bad when both of us have lows together, because again, there's nobody to take the wheel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nobody leading. So for y'all are opposite. You know, you're more factual. He's more he's more emotional. He's more emotional.
Yeah.
And so y'all can really balance each other, and your center can be like more stable, you know, across everything that you're doing in any situation. But with Mike and I, we see situations the same way, and so you really need a lot of times that outside looking in, and you need that third party to kind of like not mediate, but like help you see the different point of view, right? Because like this is my fist right here. It's the same fist we're looking at, right? Like I was telling Ethan earlier, but I'm looking at it from this angle, and you're looking at it from that angle.
True.
You know what I mean? So how do we understand each other and understand what it really is when we can't see the other side?
Yes.
You know what I mean? My dad taught me that when I was very young, and I was like, that is so profound. Like, it's like the simplest things, but again, it all comes back to, you know, are you willing? Are you willing to? And we don't like to say try, right? But everybody has to try. 50-50 we're talking about. You know, and it's not 50-50, because sometimes I'm going to be 25. Like, I just can't today. You know what I mean? But, and you're going to have to pick up the slack. And I just feel like, again, that comes back to communication and the willingness to give a little bit more when the other person doesn't have it. And, you know, and be able to receive also, you know. And sometimes we're so busy receiving that we're not giving. And I think people just get
difficult, because we were talking about this earlier. We're opposites. I'm feelings, she's facts. And I thought you're more facts. And it's not that you're not, but you definitely are both feelings. And if one is expressing their feelings and the other one is tempting to it, it causes a clash. It's like our gift and our curse. Although it gives us joy all over the place, it also, once we're down, we kind of get in the funk. And I think,
it's a bad loop.
Yeah, it's a bad loop. Get yourself to being back to where you want to go.
Set yourself behind yourself to see outside the box.
That's that box. I love the box metaphor. I use that all the time.
That's why I say
I love the box metaphor.
In the background of this song that's playing is, you said, when people say, which one of the 16 personalities are you? I'm whichever one that come out in that moment. I don't live in the box.
One of you. Pick one.
Yeah.
I'm probably two at the same time.
Absolutely.
Nobody knows.
And that's how I feel. It's like, pick one, because I'm forever evolving and growing and changing. If you say I'm just this and you expect Ethan to be rigid on his camera, then you don't come and talk to me because you don't see the transparency and the authenticity.
Right.
You don't see the opposite. So me being me and me being free and talking about my shortcomings and my failures and things like that, it allows for me, extroverts and introverts, to open up. You know what I'm saying? I'm an extrovert, ambivert, high extrovert. My wife and everybody that's close to me is introverts. I thought that maybe I was keeping the people that was close to me, like I was the smart guy, like I had it figured out. No, God had blessed me to keep me close to people that had their introspective, because he knew how free and wild I would be. So he kept me surrounded by a tight nucleus of people where my feelings could be free.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
You need different perspectives, people from different backgrounds around you, and I think that's a super beneficial thing about the Navy and traveling the world, not necessarily like, just visiting a foreign land, but being able to receive a different perspective.
Kiki's
you know what I mean?
best friend is a Navy vet. Yeah, she's probably on her. Kiki's
What's up,
best
Kiki?
friend is next friend's a Navy vet. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, and it's pretty interesting how even in that, again, we're talking about opposites and how God brings people together and his timing and things like that. And you just never know why you go through what you go through. It's like I like to say, it's a purpose for your pain. Everything that I went through with me and my wife and being opposites and figuring out one another, everything that I struggled in or people counted out that said wasn't good for your relationship, that they just could not see it. It all paid off for a greater reason. So God can have this moment right here to take regular people from from different parts of the world who are probably one and the same, totally opposite, don't really know, to come to this moment and be able to help heal one another, be able to grow with one another and just share. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like the conversation we were having earlier.
Yes. I would add to your point that sometimes people don't have that. They don't even consider that, though. They can't even open their eyes and see that. I think we take for granted that we're so versatile, all of us. And that we're so, we've been around. Like, we know lots of different types of people. We know, we've spoken to other people. We're not just in the hometown that we grew up in and this is all we know and this is the only place we've been to. You know what I mean? And we, like we were saying the other day, you take certain things from people. Yes. And you're like, I like that. I don't like that. I'll take this. I say that to people all the time. If they tell me something funny, I'm like, I'm going to use that. I'm going to take that from you.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, applicable to real lessons of life as well, I think that you should be able to learn from your spouse as well.
Absolutely.
Or else what are you doing? You know what I mean? You should be able to learn from each other. There should be things that you admire about each other. And that's what it comes back to, the willingness. You got to be willing to receive what that person has to give you. You may not like it. Like a lot of the times I don't like what Mike is. I'm not picking up what you're putting down right now. Yeah, but I love you. So I'm willing to see your way on this one.
And that's why
I'm willing to compromise, but you have to be willing. People don't get to 8 years anymore. People don't get to 25 years anymore. 25 years. People don't get there anymore. And because they're not willing to try. Yeah. And they think it's 50-50 and it's not. It's not. You got to know your role.
That's 100%.
And those roles can change. They don't have to be the same roles all the time.
Yes, that's so true.
They don't have to be the same roles all the time because you have to adapt.
Again,
you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to change. You know?
That goes.
And life is ever changing.
That goes. Yes. That just goes to the questionnaire that y'all was going over. We talked about the 4 characteristics traits. We all possess them, and you just are dominant in one. And you and Mike are so unique in the way that y'all both are dominant in the way you like to deal with people. Your feelings, very dominant, your emotions.
Yes. Very alpha.
Life of the party, you know, when it comes to that with people. And it's just other areas where it different, but it's like at the same time as that can be great, it can also be an Achilles heel if we both in our emotions at the wrong time. And
she mentioned
you know what I'm saying?
Because nobody can take the wheel. Like, who's going to be like, all right, let's take a step back, you know?
Congrats, McGinnis. He said, no, I'm sorry.
Your way of approaching things, especially like conflict, is for it to be head on. You know, his approach is like, no, we're gonna talk about this right now. I want to deal with the situation right now. And mine is like, look, go ahead and go over there, or I'm gonna be over here, and I just need to like listen to my music and like focus on the conflict and what I really want to say and how I really feel, what I really mean.
I'm like, no, give it to me right now.
And that's what I really mean to convey to you. And that's one issue that we have a lot, because sometimes his passion is well placed, but I take it negatively. But that's because I take it negatively.
Yeah.
But he does the same thing. So then it's like, who's, you know, what are we? And that's where God comes in. Honestly, that's where God comes in, because we have to be like, okay, Lord, we need you. We need to come back to center.
Yeah.
And I was telling Ethan the other day, it's not all about balance. I was saying, I think balance is an illusion almost. Because if you say balance, it already creates this like state of mind for you that like, okay, this has to be good, like all the way across. You know what I mean? But to be centered is whatever you're doing, like whatever you're in at that time, you know, whatever situation or conflict that you're having at that time, you're centered on, okay, like getting over it.
Yeah.
How do you get better, you know? But like I said, it's not until Mike and I really started like talking to God on our own, also together, that we kind of found like our own way to mediate our stuff, all our stuff. He has stuff, I have stuff. It's a lot of stuff.
Yes.
So, but like I said, if you're willing to, you can do anything, and that's why you make it. That's how you make it 25 years. You know, that's how you make it over the 7-year hump, they call it. If you can make it past 7 years, then you're doing it right. You're doing something right. But I really, honestly, truly believe it comes to God, like. And we haven't always observed that. We haven't always observed God first in our relationship. No lie. Like, until very recently. Like,
it's funny because...
like, last month.
It's funny because we were talking about that earlier. You brought up God earlier when we were talking. I know me and Mike talked about it. But as we was having that conversation and you asked me that simple question, like, why did you come here at this time? I'm like, I don't know, but you were saying, yo, God sent you. Because if you wouldn't have came at this moment, ain't no telling what the next moment could have been like. And I was reading when I was writing my scriptures this morning, I think the last scripture I wrote was Proverbs 31:31, which is the virtuous woman scripture. And I forgot what the last scripture wrote. I ain't gonna look it up. My wife might. Hold on.
You want me to look it up? I
no,
can't.
where my book at?
What book? Which one?
Which book?
Right, because he writes all the time.
I'm sorry, y'all. I
that
have
book right there.
Right here.
I think, yeah, like God just puts people in your life, like exactly when they're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You know, God put. I know Brittany Tillet's watching. Hi.
Huh.
That's
crazy.
God put Primrose in my life at a certain time. I had just gotten fired from the hospital. I had Mikey. I had Mikey. I had a birthday. I had a midlife crisis. Had a little postpartum, and I gained a lot of weight with Mikey, and it really it really affected my self-esteem and my relationship with Mike and everything, my relationship with Ella. All that being said is they fired me from the hospital right after I had Mikey, so we lost insurance. Like, we didn't know what we were going to do because we had just moved to Cedar Park, which is hella more expensive than Killeen. Like, you know. So it was very, very scary. That day that they fired me like 8 o'clock in the morning. I drove over to Primrose. I got on Indeed. They hit me up. I drove over to Primrose. I had an interview with Jordan Owens. And I just told her straight up. And this is the first time I ever been totally transparent with somebody that I did not know. I said to her, I was still in my scrubs. I still had my uniform on when I went for this interview. Right after they fired me.
Wow.
Like, mama's got to do what mama's got to do. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, I can't not have a job. Like, we got rent to pay, bills, Ella, you know what I mean? Like, we just had a new baby. Like, even if we don't have insurance, like, man, everything's still got to be paid. Like, we still have cars. Like, so I drove over. I had an interview with her, and I said to her, I think I'm getting fired from my job, or I think I've been fired from my job. And I just had a baby. I went on maternity leave. I came back. They told me I was no longer a good fit. The lady that replaced me was a Russian lady, so I think they just liked her better. But that being said, I said, I think they just liked her better. And here I am. I've never worked in childcare, but I know that I love kids. And I would possibly be a teacher. I don't know, you know, even though I never like even thought about it really before, you know, as an option. But God opened that door, and Jordan said to me, well, I think you're great.
Wow.
After I just felt so down about myself.
Wow.
And she said, I think you're great. She said, go ahead, go home and talk to your husband and let me know what you think. Let me know if you're done with that job and give me a call.
Wow.
Basically told me I had the job right then and there, which she never does. So I was inspired by that. And I felt free because I just told the truth. Like, I'm not walking in there with a lie already, you know? Mm-hmm. So my point is that God put Primrose in my life for all the growth that I've had since then. Mm. And all the ladies that I work with that have inspired me so much to be a better person. The kids that I work with that have inspired me to just be a better person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Those little people, they don't know nothing.
Yes.
They don't know nothing except how you treat them and how you love on them. That's all they know. Mm-hmm. And they can't tell you, but I impact their lives every time I see them. And they love them some Miss Crystal. So I'm all that to say that God puts you exactly where you are, and it may feel like the end of the world. Like, when I got fired, like, yo, what are we gonna do? Like, what are we gonna do? I gotta make this happen. I didn't even think about it. Let me go to this interview. I don't even care. Like, just give me the job. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that transpired into what I am now, the enrollment coordinator there. Promoted after 1 year. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And they love me. I love them. It's the whole family. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So God places everything in the right place. Even though you think like, oh my God, please just fix this. Fix my car. Fix my husband's attitude.
Wait a minute.
You know? Mm-hmm. Make Ella like to get her hair done, please, so I could just not have the headache. You know what I mean? Yes. It's a huge one. It affects me. So, you know,
more common than I realized.
Sorry, man, you already know. And you can ask God,
help us.
You know what's something so funny that happened? Me and Ella, we put the DVD in her Xbox, and we put it in 5 times. We tried the movie, and we're like, okay, we're not gonna try again. If it doesn't come on, like, we're just chalking up as an L. It's a loss, you know. And so I said, let's pray to God. I said, let's pray to God. I said, dear Lord. And Ella's just repeating after me. I said, dear Lord, please let this Xbox play this DVD. We just went we took a hot walk to the CVS and we rented it for her, and we just want it to work.
Yes.
So we can watch this movie together. And we tried it again, and it worked.
Wow.
And it's so small, and it's so stupid, right? But like, It worked.
Yeah.
And that's inspiring. You're like, man, God fixed the Xbox.
Yes. Like he cares about the little
You know what I mean?
things.
He's listening to me.
Yes.
He's listening to me. And I think that if you have that, if you just know in your heart, you know, and you got the Holy Spirit, like everything is gonna be all right. Coronavirus is gonna be all right. You know what I mean? It's all about love. It's all about the love. You know, everything's gonna be all right. We kind of got off topic, but
no, that was good. That was good stuff. You want to jump in there? You was trying to double dutch
behind yourself to see outside the box. The box is a great metaphor, James. I use that box metaphor all the time. Everybody's in this box. They're in this box. Sometimes we put ourselves in the box. We know we put ourselves in the box. But some people are trapped in the box.
Yes.
And they can't get out of the box. But it's not because they don't want to. They just don't even know they're in the box.
Yeah.
To begin with. And so at that point, how do you come out of that box? Like you scraping and scratching. You know what I mean?
You said they don't know they're in the box, and they don't know they're in the box because
totally
you're always watching the box. Look, we all watching the box right now.
Watching the box.
We all watching ourselves in the box right now. Me and my wife just watched somebody record. Somebody was like pretty much ran over with a car. Nobody helped or anything. It was sort of like the George Floyd thing. Because you watching it happen in the box. And the world has had you live in the box. They told you opposites don't attract. Because if you get somebody that's different than you, then that's thinking outside of the box. God always has you does things outside of the box. Somebody that's going, as T.D. Jakes say, buffet your flesh, ruffle your feathers. It's good in the beginning. We talked about that. You don't know if you opposite when y'all first get together or how much you alike. When you dating in the military and you don't live together, this my boo at work. I see you on the weekend, we get done. But when I've been living with you for 6 months, the boo thing then came into the boo thing. Okay? You really doing it? Like, you gotta go. Like, seriously.
Little babies. Little baby.
Baby thing.
Nope, you skip the boo-boo. You just go straight to the baby.
Straight to the babies.
That's what me and Mike did.
But then, what's the name? You start learning. No, you good. It's expression sessions.
Expression.
Right, that's your truth.
Expressing.
Because all we doing is helping people grow and move forward. Because it's a lot of people out here. My people, P.I.E.N s, my people. That's my posse, my people. It's a lot of people out here that we talk to and that we hope to reach who understand what it's like to be opposite. It's people that's been out here 3 years, 3 months, 6 months, and maybe they believe like you and Mike believed in each other, and somebody didn't believe in y'all. Y'all didn't fit because he was Caucasian, you was black. He was tall, you was short, whatever. Y'all opposite for some strange reason. She stayed on the east side, I stayed on the west side. It's like everybody has a reason why you shouldn't fit. It's a difference between y'all. Opposite isn't always bad. Right. Opposite is not always an obstacle. Opposites always could also mean an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to be stretched. And that's why God put the homeless people in your life, maybe asking for change. They opposite from you. They don't have what you have, but he testing your heart, not your hand and what's in your pocket. And you get so busy wrapped up and looking at people for what they don't look like, what they don't fit, and then you miss out on your blessing.
You miss out. You miss the blessings.
You miss out on your blessings.
You do. It's so easy to miss out on the blessings, especially in today's world. You know? All we thinking about is, you know, well, she definitely looks better than I do. Like, you know, I wish I had this, that, and the other. You know, I wish I had that nice car. I want that Infinity truck. You know, I want a bigger TV. You know?
And you miss out on your blessing.
You miss out on the blessings because you're distracted.
That's good.
It's distractions. That's the devil. The
That's
devil's distractions.
Ooh,
that's good.
That's the complete opposite of what God wants you to have. He said, I come to give you life and give you life more abundantly. But the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So he want to distract you with things. He want to distract you with things that's the opposite of his love and his grace. So now you complaining about the things you don't have and not being grateful for the grace that was given. The opposites are not attracted to one another, but you don't have one without the other. You don't understand God's grace until you went through something that was real tragic or something that was hard. The opposite of bad is good. You know what I'm saying? Happy, sad.
Sometimes that's what it takes to be great. I'm not like, I would, to your point, like Kanye West, right? He got in that huge accident. He almost died. They had to sew his jaw together. He made his first hit when his jaw was sewn together.
Wow.
Listen,
He rapped his
Mike that
first
the other day.
platinum single with his jaw sewn together.
I said that to Mike the other
You know
day.
what I mean?
Said he spit through the wire.
Through the wire.
Through the wire.
Of his jaw,
Listen
yeah.
to me. Fiber optic wire is how we communicate. He spit a message through the wire with his mouth wired shut.
Wow.
How opposites
amazing.
tragedy
But
turn into triumph.
Right.
Yeah.
But he even tells you, like, he said that happened for a reason. God made that happen to me for a reason. He didn't kill me. My time's not done yet. But I know I want to be great. But that made me realize, like, tomorrow is not promised.
Yes.
And you got to live in every moment. Like your 1 year anniversary live that I watched today with Mike. It was so profound. And like I said, I wanted to make so many comments on that live because everything that you were saying just like hit my soul. And I'll reaffirm what I said earlier to you, which was you were sent to us from God. And I know that because today when you came, we had just had a really serious talk. And you were just right after that talk, right after that talk, and everything had gone down. God sent you there, like, okay, go ahead and go ahead and tell them that it's okay. They're doing the right things, and that you're their support. You're there for them, and I'm there for them. You're the sign. You know, that's how I know God's real, because He sent you right then at that time. Why didn't you come earlier? Why didn't you come later? You came right then. He put you there right then. God makes everything happen for a reason. And a lot of people don't believe in God nowadays. God is not in school. God is, it's like taboo to talk about. We had to change our prayer at school because it had God in it.
Wow.
And we just removing that from society so we can have distractions. So we can be distracted. So we can be focused on the wrong things.
Yes.
So we're not focused on our spouse. We're focused on our phone when we're laying in bed.
That's the opposite of coming together.
I had a professor when I was attending LIU, where I graduated from, Long Island University in Brooklyn. Okay. And she said she went on a
private school or something like that? Or is it?
It is.
It is?
Yes.
It's a ritzy school, Long Island.
A GI Bill paid for it.
But I know it's a good school.
It is a good school.
It's not one of the, I'm researching them. That's what I'm doing. So you ain't go to no offense, you ain't go just to the regular little school down the block. I ain't gonna name no.
I went big.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. But let yourself talk about it.
My professor said she went on, like, her and her husband had just got married. They went on like a game show, and the game show host asked them, there was like 5 couples on the panel, and the game show host asked them, what is the first thing you touch when you wake up in the morning? What do you think 4 out of those 5 people said?
Their phones. Did they say their phones?
They did say their phones. You know that 4 of those 5 people, of those 5 couples, were young couples or, maybe middle-aged couples. There was one old as hell couple. And what do you think their answer was?
Each other?
They have all the answers, don't they?
They have all the answers. Is that me and the women?
That old man said, they got to him last, and that old man said, my wife's naked body.
Absolutely, I'm grabbing the butt cheek. What we talking about? Good morning to you. I
lay hands on you.
Babe, I'm still on the job. I'm ready to go. Son Smith, loud and proud. Stand up, salute. Bang. Marcus D. Wiley said you got to pull that thing out the garage. You ain't never heard Marcus D. Wiley, and I'm going to get off of this. He said he went to see a comedy show for Valentine's Day, right? And he said he went to talk to his granddaddy. He said, Granddaddy, you and Grandma been together like 50, 60 years, 60, 70 years. How y'all stay together this long? And he say, you really want to know? He say, yeah, I really want to know.
Oh, I want to know.
Say, Grandma sitting over there in the chair. She just kind of look away. He said, come on now, granddaddy, don't play with me. Y'all got 60 years. What is you
it?
doing?
What is
I want
it?
to know. He
What's the
said,
secret?
he said, granddaddy, come on, man, quit playing. What is you talking about?
What does
He
that mean?
said,
Is that?
he said, granddaddy, now I ain't gonna play with you. He said, I looked over at grandma and she just smiled and winked at me. He said, you got a car, don't you? You got to pull that thing out the garage and keep driving it. If you take care of it, it'll take care of you. The point of the story is just because they was older don't mean they couldn't still do what they was created to do. But they get older and they stop seeing each other in that way. So
Right.
you talked
Right.
about what's the first thing you touch in the morning? I touch my wife because that's my source. That's my connection. I don't need my phone. That's a distraction. That's opposite of what I want to be connected to. So granddaddy said how we kept it together, you know. So that's what I was saying. Connection.
They
phone.
kept the
Connection.
spark alive. They
Kept
kept
the
the
spark
You
alive.
connection
have
alive.
to have that romance, you know, and
Something
that
to say,
intimacy.
yeah, no doubt.
That's why. And recently, to your point, Ella is 8 years old, and she just started sleeping in her bed.
Okay.
So that I had to finally put my foot down. Like, I love you, and I love snuggling with you, but I need my husband
Yes.
and me in my bed. And I love you, but like, you're a whole person, a whole grown person now. So I need you to like sleep in you know, in the $500 bed that I bought you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, why are you paying for a 2-bedroom apartment first? And also, like, I'm never gonna have, you know,
Intimacy.
Yes.
Granddaddy
What
never
you blocking
gonna drive
the way.
his car again. He ain't never gonna get to drive the Studebaker no more.
shit's parked down, busted.
Those opposites definitely don't attract.
No bueno. So yeah, I mean, you know, you just, but like I said, you have to be willing though. If you just give up, like I just give up on my body because I'm old. I just give up on the way I look because I can't get my plastic surgery, or you know what I mean. I can't get my lashes done. You know, yeah. What else? What else is there? You know, you gotta try. You gotta try. It's not all about. You gotta make yourself happy. You got to be happy and healthy, and your family will be happy and healthy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Don't be a negative Nate when you could be a positive P.I.E.N. Those opposites don't attract. You
Indeed.
know what I mean? You can see the negative in every positive. Simple fact that, one, I just got fired from my job. This is crazy. Why did I just get fired from my job? All right, cool. Positives, I'm still breathing, walking, and talking, so I'm going to take action and see what I can do next. I don't even know if you have ever done an assessment before, not even knowing your strongest characteristic strength is connection with people. You left the hospital not as a bad thing. You left the hospital as a blessing because he put you with kids in a good spot. And that person said, I like you for you. So it's just like, you know, I forgot where I was going with this. Connection we was talking about. Self-development.
Self-development.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I was going to, but anyhow, I'm done. I'm not going to mention it.
I'm glad I'm not the only person who does that. I'll be talking mid-sentence like, what was I? What was I
She
saying,
have to
though?
help me sometimes because you have so many thoughts, so many ideas.
I know,
and that's
and
where people be like, I don't know. I think I'm again an emotional person. I think people think I'm tripping. It's like, even when I'm attempting to cut people off, I have so many thoughts and I want to respond on that right away. So yeah, I do lose my train of thought, but God give me something I pick back up on point. But as you're saying, opposites attract. It all goes back to how me and your husband met at the bus stop and so many things. And you observe people and you think they're one way and then you have no idea. I ain't even going to get into the topic. Just think yesterday I invited everybody over for dinner. You and my wife didn't get to meet the way I thought y'all should. Y'all probably could have thought y'all was opposite or whatever. Now y'all sitting here and both understand, y'all realize, okay, we got daughters who this hair we both want to choke out some days. Because this hair is something else. You know what I'm saying? And then just the whole relationship thing. I pursue my wife the same way, you know, inspired. So you just never know what God is going to attract to you, whether they're different than you, whether they're the same as you. It's all about if you really know you. And if you really know you, you should be able to grow around anybody that's around you. I've come to learn that when that's two things that's happening. When I'm talking to somebody, hopefully I'm teaching. And when I'm listening, I should be learning. So whether you're the same as me or you're the opposite as me, I should be able to benefit from me being around you.
Yes.
I love that.
It's really that simple. If there's no judgment, there's no pointing fingers, there's no you versus me, you're this way, you're that way, so I can't fit. No, you are what God created you to be. You are a masterpiece. You love, you valuable, you're a masterpiece. You was created in his image. I'm who I'm supposed to be. If we just take the PIEN, the positive and every negative, and look at that for this moment to be with another individual and just enjoy what it is, and not look at the negative of saying, oh, well, you not like me, so this ain't gonna work. Not realizing, yo, I got the chance to share energy with 1 out of 8 billion people in the world. I got the chance to be with somebody for 8 years, my spouse, 25 years, to know me, who I can trust. Like, it's crazy now. People getting killed, put in boxes. You think you know somebody you met, and it's a wrap. Yeah. It's really a wrap. Like, people don't think about that. Like we was talking earlier, we think we got time, and we think we got the right to judge somebody based off of them not fitting the way we fit or what we think. God put that opposite in your life for a reason, to stretch your life. He put that person that's like you in your life for a reason, to show you someone who resemble the things that you do in your life and show you how you can grow from it. Eric Thomas, Dr. Eric Thomas, he talks about being a high I, a high D. He from Detroit, just like I am. He talks about being homeless, dropping out of high school, the whole nine. He's someone's energy like me and your husband energy, who God put before me, who I could see. He's similar to me. But we're opposite in the way of, he got a doctor's degree. I got a communications degree, but I still reach people the same way he do. You still reach people that's different from you by just being you and accepting them for them. That's what's so crazy about, doesn't matter to me whether we opposite or one and the same. If I see you as every time I'm talking with the ability to learn from you, or God giving me the wisdom to teach you something, then all we can do is grow together.
And that's funny that you have that outlook, because that's exactly the opposite of what they teach you in the military.
Oh, yeah.
And I know a lot of people can attest to that, because it doesn't matter who you are. If I'm above you in rank, then you ain't shit. But
shut it down. That's it. Shut it down. That's
I think
personality number 17. This has been brought to you by Mr. P.I.E.N and the good people of Mr. P.I.E.N LLC. Show up to blow up to one of your personalities near you. Okay. I always drive my own commercials,
and I think that's why a lot of vets have issues when they get out too, is because number one, your communication when it comes to your job is not the same in civilian life as it is in the military. It's just not the same. Your communication across all the platforms with your peers and also with your higher ups, your chain of command, because your chain of command, you could be like, I'm gonna say a cuss word because we cuss a lot in the Navy. They would be like, nah, get that shit fucking done. Like, I don't give a fuck. Go do it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's light work. That's all you got?
Light a fire. Yeah, I'm keeping it. You know what I mean?
Because the Army, you got some threw at you and everything, some push-ups to go with it. I mean.
But you can't do that in the real. Nobody's doing that in the real world. Right. And if you talk to somebody like that, you'll probably
it's a wrap.
Get let go real quick.
It's a wrap.
So the way you deal with people in the military is way different than how you deal with people in civilian world. It took me a hot minute to realize that, especially coming from where I came from, like on the ship where everybody already hates you because you're a cop. On top of that, I'm a black female.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? MA2. Like, you're not a chief, like, but you're there to enforce the rules. So it's like,
catch 22.
You have to present yourself a certain way, and you have to assert yourself a certain way if you want that respect. And you can't do that like in civilian life. You know what I mean? Unless you're a cop, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But in any other job that you're not doing, being a cop, you're not gonna be able to communicate to people like that. Even when you are a cop, you kind of have to, like, watch what you say and do. But in the Navy, it's like, closed circuit. So it's a little bit more like you can just, tell people to fuck off.
It was like, well, even with my wife being a military spouse, because she wasn't in the military or anything, but being a military spouse is, I would tell her not a lot of stuff, but some stuff, but I kept her separated from it. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, it's just annoying and stuff you have to deal with because what makes sense don't make sense. It's a lot of good things that happen in the military, but they don't do things based off a person's characteristic strengths. It's just like, let's just do it this way because it's the way we've been doing it forever, and ain't no need to change this way. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not using the tool to this best advantage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just not attractive.
But also, you're not able to give and receive on a platform that's conducive to learning.
It's true.
Like learning, like to be a better person, or just learning like your job facts of how everything goes. It's like it's so different that it's like when you get in the real world, you just like you really have to reacclimate yourself to it, especially if you went straight in from high school into the military and you don't know anything else. You've never had any other job.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you went that route. That's a whole other show.
I hope you're retiring because it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with when you get out to have all that, on your plate and be different from how you're raised. And so if you go straight from high school to the military, that's how you're raised. You're raised in the military.
Yeah.
So when you come out and you're trying to do the same things you were doing in the military with like the lay person, they're gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you? You're not me too out here." You know what I mean?
And imagine how that looks in your relationship also, because you take that same mindset into your relationship and you can't boss your partner. You can't talk to your partner any kind of way. So I can see how that can be a struggle. What?
I'm speechless for once.
I would say though, it does help. There's a lot of benefits to being in the military, but it definitely helped me being in the military, getting out, because I was that discipline. The layperson doesn't get also, and that's why veterans always connect, because we have that discipline that most people don't ever tap into about themselves. You know what I mean?
It's a different level.
There's levels.
Yeah, it's very,
you know what I mean.
But then
then you could be fortunate enough to meet somebody like you, and y'all be together. Or you have co-military, like Mike is a vet, I'm a vet, where you just have that understanding. You weren't in the military, but like I'm here. I'm meeting you here. I understand that this is what you had and did.
Yes.
And this
I
is.
think she was surprised. She didn't really know how much
like, wait for it.
Because she say that like I was different when I came back. I was in straight.
I said the same thing. I said the same thing about my dad.
It took him months to unpack that, like you said,
Absolutely.
because his mindset was years in the military. So when he comes home, he's bossy, and it's like, I want it done this way, and I want it down now, and I'm like, Sergeant, I'm gonna need you to back up because we're not doing that here. Like, it took a while, and I enjoy working out, but I can't work out with my husband because I don't want to be treated like a corporal. I don't want to drop down and give you 50 when I can barely do 5. It's level to this, so it took months for him to unpack all of that, and I understand how that can be difficult, even in a relationship, not just in your corporate world, but you come home to your family and you're in this mindset of this is who I was here, and this really doesn't work. It's like this for us. Like, even though I attempted to embrace it, sure, let's go working out, let's do this, I began to hate it. Like, you know what? Right. I can't work out with you. Yeah. This is not gonna work for me.
This is a boundary we're gonna have to.
I don't know that world. Yeah. I didn't go to PT training. I'm not prepared for this. I'm gonna need you.
I had your back.
So I understand how it's definitely grace that needs to be given to your military partner, because man, it's different. They come home different. Grace, patience, so communication, compromise, all of that stuff play a part. Yes. So,
I want to see all of us in there. Okay.
No, you cool. Now we see everybody. I was about
to end it.
The show on it. But no, if y'all still talking, I'm gonna let y'all go. But that's good because I think we covered a whole bunch talking about opposites in life and just healing, and that's what I was hoping to happen because I know what you ladies was talking about and y'all discussed, and my wife had to touch me at times because my I wanted to just jump in there. I went, hold on, but you was on the roll, and you know what I'm saying?
Full, I know.
No, that's good because that's what expression sessions.
Y'all.
Okay.
That's expression sessions is all about for you to be able to express yourself and talk. So if you down, we'll see y'all later. Love your peace. Whenever that phone down, we still live right here. Thank y'all for
We're still live
in.
on Ethan's page.
So you know, I think that the whole thing was good because it gave you an opportunity to open up and talk about some things. And I stepped out and talked to your husband. He was able to watch and see. So you just have no idea, again, how God put two, three, four people together. You and your husband, friends. He puts people together who seem opposite, who may never talk in passing like me and you. You would see me, we didn't talk. But then y'all fit in so many ways. And he used what y'all have to help so many people. Like it's a purpose for all the pain that you go through. This seed that we may be planting y'all at 25 years in, somebody had to plant it in us.
Yes.
And y'all are planting in somebody else. Like you talked about the dating game. The dating game that the people did, and the husband said they touched their wife naked butt or whatever they touched. Me and my wife, when we first came back together, we went to a Valentine's Day thing, and they had a couples dating game, and we hadn't been together in 2 years, like together. We answered 5 out of the 6 questions like we had never broke a beat because we knew who we are. We knew our strengths, our weaknesses. We knew what we were opposite, but we knew we were strong together. And it's so important when you learn yourself, when you learn who you are, what God tells you that you truly are. You allow yourself to blossom and be that. You allow your spouse to be that. That's when the two truly become one and start to live in true unity. But it takes men, definitely. It takes men being willing to share their emotions with their wife like they're going to share it with God or their homeboy. And it takes homeboys accepting them. And it takes women being a comfortable place for men to be able to launch.
And just realizing that, like your person, that's your person. Like, if you can't be vulnerable with your person, then like,
why
what are you doing?
I said that to my wife. If I can't share my bank account, if I can't share my deepest, darkest secrets with you, what makes me cry or make me feel scared as a man, like it's things that I show her now that I didn't share previously. If I'm not sharing that with you, why am I with you? Especially if I married you and I say I want this forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, what we doing?
And that goes back to that trust.
I'm not even gonna lie. You gotta trust. You
gotta trust.
You gotta trust more than your person, though. You gotta trust yourself that you made the right decision.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You gotta trust. Touch butts.
Ghost is over there, ain't she?
Oh my goodness.
You gotta trust yourself, and you gotta trust God that He put that person with you for a reason. Now, if the person's just psycho, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if you're just if you're just working through things, you know, if you're just working through things, you're like, you know, ultimately, I know Mike is a good person. I know his heart is good. I know he has a Holy Spirit. Like, I know that I love him. I know God put him in my life. Like, I know we have 2 kids for a reason. I know, like, things are gonna be okay. But like, how do I get past right now? Like, how do I fix my face right now for this? You know what I mean? How do I like just realize that like this is totally workable? How do we work it out? You know what I mean? Again, that comes back to the whole willingness too. God gave man free will. If I didn't want to be with him, I wouldn't be with him. If you didn't want to be with your person, you wouldn't be with your person.
Yes.
You wouldn't. But God also gives you free will to trust and have faith and relinquish control.
Yes.
And be vulnerable to him so that you're not distracted and you can see and feel real things, you know, and be vulnerable for your person, you know. It takes a lot. And I you know, like I said, we've been married for 8 years. I'm not sure I've been vulnerable, totally vulnerable. Ground zero vulnerable, you know. even after 8 years.
Hey,
So.
it's definitely you say how do you get through that? And I think in this moment you find a way to celebrate that moment. You really, like you talk about the things that you love about, you know, Mike, the things you love about your relationship. That's what I look at. Me and my wife, we do a date night. You find a way to celebrate the small things, and it's always being real with yourself, especially for us having that high I, being emotional. Like, again, the how many personalities. Whatever emotion I'm in, I'm gonna celebrate that. If you sad, own that. You sad, but why am I sad? Let me see what's going on with my sadness, and then deal with that face on and move forward. So I think it's, you know what, how you deal with that, getting over those 8-year humps, you celebrate the fact that you made it 8 years and everything else.
You do, but that's perseverance. That's part of the journey.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? God doesn't test everybody. He doesn't test everybody's faith. He tests the strong ones.
You might test everybody, but everybody not willing to answer. Pick up that pencil.
But that's what I'm saying. It's in the perseverance
Yeah.
that you realize your faith. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not persevering through things, how do you know? How do you know what your faith is?
That's right.
How do you tap into how to trust that faith? How do you do that?
Well,
If you've never meet adversity, how do you
grow through something.
how do you grow?
It's purpose for your pain, and God is the one that's gonna get the glory for that stain on your face. That's gonna get you up out the place. Bars, don't worry about that. Come back
Bars.
next week. Hey, this has been another Soulful Saturday session of Expression Session. We want to thank our wonderful guest, Miss Crystal, for coming out and dropping all those jewels and knowledge on us. We want to thank Mike over there, Big Mike, Little Mike, Ella, and Zaria, who all made an appearance either by sound or sight. I want to thank my love, my life, my beautiful wife, Kiki, who helps me be the best version of me. Here's Zaria over here so she can say bye. Then I think I hear Ella breaking in there. The whole family is coming.
Hello.
Tony Cam, you gotta come over
gotta
this
come
way.
over.
Come on this way. You gotta see, there we go.
There
we
we
got Mike right
go.
there. We got Mike right there.
What's up?
So
What's up,
you see,
everybody?
this is how we've been doing this. This the family and
They can't see me.
hey man, opposites attract. Be attracted to the people that God put around you, whether they're the same as you or opposite as you. Learn from them or teach them, and that's how you become a better version of you. Again, this has been another Soulful Saturday session of Expression Sessions, where you come over here and you express yourself, where we talk about love, life, kids,
I wanna
wife,
talk.
family.
I get to talk.
This is what we do, y'all. You talking now.
You
Tell
want
them
to
where
lead
you
the
from.
people with
From New
something?
York.
Tell
Staten
them
Island.
something.
Okay.
What's up? Who's in here? Anybody?
Everybody's in there.
Everybody's
You
in
in there. I don't know who in there.
Go walk
Mike's
this little
in
guy
there.
around. He got to
Been
eat
walking
dinner.
you
but-
around.
Want to give a special shout out to a lovely lady whose birthday is on Monday.
Aria!
Happy birthday. You guys sparkling nice. Yeah.
Well, y'all have a blessed, wonderful Saturday. I'm out. See y'all
Yeah, no more?
next. Not right now. I'm out. You just said he got to eat.